Hey everyone, welcome back. In this Selenium Python tutorial, we are going to continue with the report generation in Selenium Python framework and understand how you can embed the failed test case screenshot within your HTML report. Now in the last tutorial, we have understood about the HTML report, simple report generation, and if we see or if we try to open the report that we have generated into the browser, so that's how basically the report look like, right? So it will report all the details and then along with the logs basically that we have implemented at the bottom here, right? So this is the basic report, basic HTML report that will get generated by the Pytest. Now say for example, I want to change the header of the report. I want to embed the screenshot. I want to insert certain, links here. What all I need to do in order to do that? So let's go ahead and understand. Prior to that, say for example, I generated this report at this particular level, right? So at the project level. Now, if I want to create this report.html into this reports folder, the only thing you have to do is when you are running the command, so we'll say Pytest and I want to run it in Chrome. The test case is in Chrome. I'll say Chrome test URL. Now, in order to generate the report, what we had is we just used to mention HTML, right? And then the report name, right? So in this case, I have mentioned report.html. Now, say for example, I have to create it in the reports folder. So I'll simply say reports and then / and the name of the report, right? So I can say report 1, say for example, and then html, okay? And just run it. So now this time, once the execution will happen, the report.html or report1.html will get created into the reports folder. So I have specifically updated the details in the going from and going to location so that test case fails, right? So now in the reports, you will see that report1.html got created. So that's how you'll create the report within any specific folder or the report folder. Now how you can go ahead and embed the screenshot. Now because this particular report has failed, so ideally there should be the screenshot. So I want to attach a screenshot where exactly this test case has failed, and screen of that particular application or the page should be attached here. Okay, so how we can do that? Let's go ahead and understand it. All right, so there is a hook that is provided by Pytest. So if you go to this particular page, the user guide of the Pytest-HTML, and scroll at the bottom here, so this is basically the hook that we need to update and use it in order to insert the images of the or failed screenshot into our test case, right? So I have already updated this. So this is, do not go into too much detail if you're just looking for learning the test automation and implementing it in the framework, because this is one-time effort and I have already updated this. So let me quickly copy all the stuff that is required and I'll walk you through a little bit around the changes that have been done. Now, because this particular hook, you can, if you see here, we can be implemented in a plugin or conftest.py, right? So we can put it in conftest.py and it will be the hook will be automatically invoked whenever there is a failure, right? So if we go to the project here and we know our conftest is in the test cases, so we'll open that and within this file, I'll paste everything there. Okay. Now, if you see here, this is almost exactly the same code that I have copied from this particular location. But then what you have to change is if you have to insert the URL, right? So here you have to specify the specific URL. Okay. So that's what I have done here. So say for example, I want to append the URL in the report and this is where the URL, the links will appear. Okay. So that URL, whatever URL you'll provide here will get included in the report. Now the next bit is, if you see here, is around additional HTML on failure, right? So what you can do as part of this hook is you can update it to include the additional HTML section within the report. So at the moment, this is how the HTML is. Now I can add the hook or update the hook and add an additional section here in the right hand side and embed the screenshot there, right? So what I need to do is we simply need to go here, and if you see here, I'm simply, in this case, I'm just saying what will be the report directory. So getting the directory, right? So getting the directory os.path.dirname and getting the report directory, and then the file name is basically we are just using this report.nodeid.replace to basically get the file name as per the test case name, right? So this will basically give me the file name, or the PNG file will be as per the test case. So say for example, this test search flight test has failed, the file name of the screenshot will be containing something similar to that. So this is around that. Then the destination file, where exactly I want to keep my screenshots, right? So I'm just joining the report directory, which is the directory of the report, and then the file name, and then saving the screenshot. This is the Selenium screenshot save screenshot method at the destination, or saving the screenshot with the destination file wherever I want to save. And here this is more of a adding that HTML, right? So adding a div tag within the report, and I'm saying that add the screenshot there with this width and height, and this is generally like HTML stuff. So this is a brief about this, but I do not recommend that you go into too much detail until you are very keen to learn all of it. So you simply need to write it once and you will be able to use it in your automation framework, right? So it's good that you go ahead and explore about it. It will enhance your learning, but do that once you are comfortable in generating the report and embedding the screenshot into your report. Once you are up to that level, then go ahead and explore all the code that is written here. Okay. And here at the bottom, if you see, right? So let's say this method Pytest HTML report title, what this will do is this will automatically, or this will change the title of the report. So at the moment, the report title is simply report1.html or whatever report name you give. If I want to change this report title to something else, so that's where that method will be helpful. So here, if you search for that, and everything is there in the documentation, right? So I simply copied it and changed the title here. So that's why the official documentation are the best documentation to refer to, because you will learn a lot in the official documentation. If you can't find things, Google, and you will be able to find that someone somewhere would have already resolved that issue, and if not, you can ask the question on the forums. Okay, so this will change the title. And now let's go ahead and basically try to run this particular test case and see the screenshot is getting embedded. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll remove all the old reports, just delete it and delete this report as well. And let's go ahead and I will simply run. So this time what I'll do is I'll simply generate the report at the project level, right? So at the test framework demo level. So the report will be generated not in the reports folder, but at that root level. Okay. So I haven't provided that reports folder there. So simply provide the report name and run. So we are interested into looking at the failed test screenshot being attached. So depart from going to names have been changed in the CSV file, and that's why this will fail at this particular location. If you see that this is the test data that I have just fudged to some invalid data here, right? So that's why it will fail on the first step itself. So now you will see that the report one has been generated. Okay, now if I open it, and you will see the screenshot is attached here, right? In this particular section, screenshot is attached, and you will see the report title has been changed. You will see the URL has been present there, and if you see in the left hand side, it redirects me to the rcvacademy.com, right? So if I'll click here, it will open the website rcvacademy.com. You'll see that it has redirected me to there. Okay, now if I open this particular screenshot, you will see that this screenshot, this is where my test case has failed, and you will see that this is the name of the file, right? .png. Okay, so you'll see that test search flights.py underscore the name of the test, and which exact execution this particular test has failed. That's the name of the file. And this screenshot, if you'll see, it is stored in test framework demo folder into the test cases folder, right? So if we go back here, you will see that in the test cases folder, this is the screenshot where it is stored. Now this is not good, right? I mean, within the test case, the screenshot is getting stored there and the report is generated here. So say for example, there are 100 test cases, and out of that 50, or say for example, just hypothetically 10, 20 got failed, then there will be 20 screenshots being here, and your test case directory will be cluttered, right? So I want to move these screenshots and this report into this reports. Okay, so simple thought in your mind would be, let's go ahead and just generate the report. So we'll say generate the reports into the reports folder, right? So that all the screenshots and everything goes into the reports folder. Okay, so let me run it again, and this time I am running it I'm trying to produce the report into the reports folder. Okay, so let's see what happens. Opening the browser, and once the execution will finish and fail, it should produce the report, and this time into the reports folder. So it has finished. Let's go back, and in the reports you will see that report1.html got created. Right, now if I open this particular report, there is no screenshot. Right, if I'll click on this screenshot link here, you will see that it doesn't open that. Right, it says not found. The reason being, as soon as I provide the reports folder, you will see that it always, in the previous report, you will see that when I created the report, not this one, sorry, if I go to this one, this is the one, we close this one, that, and here you will see, if I click on this particular screenshot, you will see that it's in the project root, right, and then there is a test cases folder, right, and within test cases folder where my test cases are, it created that screenshot. So it needs to, it is looking for the test cases folder in order to create those screenshot into the test cases folder. Now in this case, because I changed, let me close this, in this particular, close all of it and open the report again. So in this particular case, right, the report has been generated into the reports folder. Okay, so if I click on this screenshot, you will see that it is looking for the test cases folder within the reports folder. Now because there was no test cases folder within the reports folder, this screenshot capture has failed. Right, so what we need to do is, one thing is, we can simply, so here this particular screenshot, let me delete it. Right, we don't need it, we don't need this report anymore, and let me create a new directory which says test cases. So when we create a new directory within the reports, when I generate the report in the reports folder, then during the screenshot capture, it will be able to find this test cases folder, and all the screenshots will go into the test cases folder, and report will be generated with the name that we'll provide. Right, so this time let me change it to report 2 and run it, and see that this time the screenshots will get attached successfully. It should fail. It has failed, and let's go back, and you will see report 2 got created, and within the test case you will see the screenshot has been captured and stored there, and screenshot has been named as per the test case, where which particular test case has failed and which particular data has failed. Right, so if you'll see, all of that information has been captured. Right, and if I now open this report2.html into the browser, you will see the screenshot is there. Right, if I click on it, now you will see it has gone to the reports, to the test cases folder, and the file has been stored there. Okay, so keep in mind, with this particular solution that has been provided at the Pytest HTML report user guide, you have to ensure that whenever you are creating the report, right, in a specific folder, then you need to have this test cases folder within that particular reports folder. Okay, so that it will generate the screenshot, it will capture the screenshot and store it into that particular folder. Okay, so that's one of the things. Now say for example, I do not want to create this test cases screenshot. Right, so at the moment the file name is with this particular, report.nodeid.replace. Right, so basically it gets the node ID and then replaces certain things, and then appends.png to the file. I can generate a random file name. Right, so I can use this round function, right, and create some random.png file. Okay, and in the destination file, now I'll just use the file name that has been created here. Now with this particular file name, because it contains this node ID, when I tried this to create the file into this reports directory, it is not creating. It is specifically looking for this particular test cases folder. Okay, so with this approach, what it will do is, it won't look for that test cases folder. Okay, so if I remove everything here, and instead of, you just need to remove this line, comment it out, and just use this. So with this one, the problem is that the file name .png won't be created or won't be named specific to the test case or to the test file and the test case that it has failed, which is not very good in terms of when you want to go ahead and debug or check the name of the screenshot. It won't be very useful in that case, but because it is embedded within the report, it is still okay. So if you want this approach, then just comment this out and use the file name as this and run the test. Right, so let me run the test. And in this case, now you will see reports folder is blank, right? And in the test cases, there is no screenshot, there is no report at all. Okay, so let me run it with the same command here, and this time in the reports folder it should create report 2 and also capture the screenshot, right? So it's failed, and after failure, let's go to the reports, and you will see it has captured the screenshot within this reports folder itself, right? Because what we have done is we have just taken the file name, and then within the report directory, whatever report directory we want to specify, within that we are saying just capture with a random time or random string and append that basically, or put it into the reports folder. Now if I open this report now, that screenshot will be appended here, right? So you'll see that if I click on this, the name of that screenshot is not as clear as it was in the previous executions, but at least I do not have to go ahead and specifically create the test cases folder in order to put the PNG files or the screenshot files into the test cases folder so that it gets appended into my report. In this case, it has automatically basically been able to take the screenshot and append or attach it to the report along with the name that we have, the title that we have changed, and the URL, right? So if you go to this particular documentation, there are many more updates that you can do, and I would highly recommend go ahead and play around. Once you are able to generate this report that I have explained in this particular tutorial and embed the screenshots with all the methods that I have shown, go ahead and explore this page and come up with better ideas. Whatever I have explained in this video, come up with more better ideas and share, right? So if you get to customize it even much better looking report, please share to the community, comment out, and I might reach out to you and we can share it with the community so that it's helpful for everyone else. This particular bit has been a bit tricky for me to figure out from different places. So I would highly recommend, if you have a good idea around updating this custom report, making it much better, please reach out and we can, share with the community, and that will be even much better. So go ahead, read this documentation, update a lot of other details that you can see. You can modify the results table, you can modify the display options, etc. So there are a lot of possibilities, but in terms of your automation framework and the way the report is acceptable in your automation framework or in the organization or with the client, this is good enough for you to basically send or display the report to the client and send the reports, right? So it gives you a good information around pass, fail, skipped, and this is all that is required by the clients and by the projects in the organization, right? So that's all for this tutorial on how to generate the HTML report in Selenium Python framework and embed the screenshots within those reports. I hope this was helpful. Thank you very much for watching.